What is up, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Goods, BigZoeTV, man. We back in the building again. I saw this video, and this video is well put together. Video titled "The Addiction That Destroyed Drake's Career" from Hip Hop Madness. So if you want to check out the video in full and you want to check it out on their channel, I have the link in the description, man. But make sure you check them out. It's Hip Hop Madness. But we're gonna react to this video and we're gonna talk about it because I think they point out some interesting things in here to dive deep into the psyche of Drizzy Drake, man. So let's get to it. I ain't gonna hold y'all too much. If y'all have not subscribed to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button, violate that like button for your boy. Y'all already know what it is. Let's get to it.
What is the real issue with you in marriage? Now I gotta dig in and see, what's your family like? Oh, your dad left you at 5. Oh, I get that. And he never walked you to the bus stop. You're mad about this.
Listen, Pusha T and Kendrick probably was the worst people that Drake could have like picked a fight with. Let's be honest here, dog, because them two right there, they not just trying to diss you, dog. They trying to break down your psyche, dog. That's why I feel like Drake just messed with the wrong fucking people. Like, these niggas trying to break down your psyche. They ain't trying to just throw jabs at you. They trying to break you down, dog.
Since the beginning of his career, Drake's relationship with women has always been at the forefront of his music. Whether his songs were about going through a breakup, occasionally depicting himself as sensitive, or outright portraying himself as a simp, Drake seemed to genuinely admire women.
Yeah, I mean, listen, Marvin's Room was definitely like the epitome of that. In Marvin's Room, he, like the lyrics to that thing is crazy. And it's like you listen to the lyrics and you'd like, yeah, Drake doing that shit. He like, bruh, the song said, "Fuck that nigga that you love so much." Don't lie and say you can't hear Drake saying that, dog. We know he said that shit for real. This nigga ain't capping.
But over time, things drastically changed until the point he morphed into the self-proclaimed certified lover boy. From venting his feelings of loneliness to an ex on Marvin's Room, through to accusations of rampant misogyny on the 21 Savage assisted Her Loss, even Drizzy's claim that the only woman he loves is his mom on God's.
Hold on, did Drake? Marvin's Room, when did Marvin's Room come out? I was trying to see if Marvin's Room was about Serena, but nah, that Serena was like 2015 or 17 or whatever.
Plan was a drastic departure from when he was actively trying to settle down. But where the good guy image was once intact and helped skyrocket his career to the top, that's long gone now.
Y'all think if Drake actually and Rihanna actually like hit it off, he would have like settled down? Y'all think like we still would have been talking about them as an item today? I don't know, dog, cause hey, listen, the fact of the matter is this dude ain't grow up. This man grew down. The older he gets, the more he acts like he's some kid in his 20s. You know, that's the sad part about this, and that's what this whole beef is pointing to. It's like you haven't matured.
Replaced with the perception that, as Kendrick said, Drizzy doesn't even like women. In fact, he only values them when it comes to sexual gratification and as a way to have a one-up on his enemy.
Yo, that lyric is crazy. I believe you don't like women. It's real competition. You might pop ass with them. We gotta acknowledge how crazy that line is. That line is crazy. Euphoria was a beast, dog. That was a beast of a record.
And friends. In short, there's now a belief that Drake has a serious sex addiction, which has basically created the predicament he finds himself in today.
He presents himself as like this smart, composed, thoughtful businessman, but your friends, girls, you're not them for them, by the way. There's tons of bad. You're not just doing it to get a nut. You're your man. That's what you're doing. It sounds crazy, but that's what it's.
Andrew, where you taking this, dog? Yo, what? You doing what to your man? Bro, Andrew, you taking this to a dark place. Andrew, please explain. You taking this to a very dark place, dog.
I'm going to do something that I know that I'm going to have over you.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you. We're back. We back on levels, dog. We good. Yeah.
Currently operating in a state that may fill a void inside him while deviating from the image that first made him successful, Drake has made it clear that he's not a one-woman man at this point in his life, nor does he plan to change that. And while that makes him no different from many other superstars, the problem for the Sixth God is that there's a feeling of spite and self-sabotage to how he goes about it that has nearly destroyed his career several times over. So let's break down the roots of this addiction and how it's been hiding in plain sight for a long time now.
I think that's factual. We've watched Drake change throughout these years, from like the Drake that we remember when he first came out to the Drake that he is now. Is completely different. And I stand by the fact that I feel like the fame plays a big role in it. The fame plays a huge role. And I feel like the power that he feels like he's gained from being on top played a huge role. And I feel like after the Meek Mill situation, I think he gained a new level of confidence and a new level of, you know, I'm that guy in this industry. And I feel like that's when things started to shift a little for him.
When you pattern yourself as a ladies' man, it's really no surprise that you might ruffle some feathers or act impulsively when things don't go your way. Just look at what what happened in the aftermath of Drake flying a fresh-faced Ice Spice out to OVO.
Not Drake in the background looking like the bestie. Drake in the background looking like the bestie that brought his friend to the concert. And listen, I remember this, and I talked about this too, man. We all know that Ice Spice is what Sexy Red is right now. Well, that's what Drake wanted Ice Spice to be. He wanted Ice Spice to be what Sexy Red is right now. And it ain't happen like that. So I'm assuming she got there, she ain't give him the play that he wanted, or maybe she just ain't sweat him like he expected. Because you can imagine Ice Spice just starting her career. You know, Drake is like feeling like, I could put you on, I can make you even bigger than you are right now. And who knows what he wanted in return. Maybe he just wanted her to acknowledge him like he was that. And she probably just didn't. And that ain't work for him. And that's crazy. But we all know that he got in his feelings about it.
Only to suddenly cut ties with her when it appeared he didn't get what he wanted out of it.
It's been speculated that Drake unfollowed you afterwards. Do you want to tell us some tea on that?
He did. I don't know why, though.
Come on, Ice Spice. You don't know why. It's because you ain't do the Ice Spice dance on him. That's why. You ain't do the Ice Spice dance. He wanted you to do the Ice Spice dance on him, and you ain't do it. That's the problem. Yo, why we acting stupid out here?
Happy to ghost someone in an instant, Drake's objectives with up-and-comers like Ice come into focus when you see how much he prides himself on being a bachelor. So, when he doesn't get his way, his superstardom allows him to move in a way without any consequences. And this behavior was further highlighted in an interview with Angie Martinez, where French Montana basically lifted the lid on how Drake operates.
Yes.
There's people with more reputation than me.
Drake is close, but you and Drake are friends.
Splash Bros. Snipe Squad. You know, he gave me the Snipe Squad thing. 10 rules, 10 Snipe commandments. Thou shalt not snipe a bro's ting. Thou shalt never pillow talk.
You got Drake's list of commandments in your note? What? You got a list of commandments from Drake in your notes, bro? What are we doing out here, man? What is up with the industry? What are we doing, dog? Yo, this is wild.
Or discuss business with a ting. On any import from the United States, Canada, or any other region, thou shalt practice a maximum 3-day export rule to avoid frustration.
Bro, they out here treating women like imports and exports. Like you importing some shit from a foreign country. Like, bro, what in the world, bro? Like, listen, man, y'all women that be getting flowed out, y'all gotta have some more respect for yourself, man. Y'all imports and exports, bro, it's crazy. Like, these chicks getting flown in and out. We all know there's somebody out there who's supposed to be a main person, bro, but they out here getting flowed out on the weekend. They telling you they out on business, and this the shit they been imported and exported following the rules, the commandments of the Snipe Bros. What the fuck is going on, man?
Fly anybody in, give them 3 days so you can avoid frustration. 3 days maximum.
With Drake basically retaining the mindset of a man in his 20s, it explains why Drizzy also doesn't care whose toes he steps on, including sniping someone else's ting. Take, for instance, the story of Naomi Sharon.
Oh, this one was crazy. This was a crazy story.
Unlike Ice Spice, it's believed that she welcomed Drake's advances despite being in an 8-year relationship.
That line right there just hurts, bro. He welcomed his advances. And this is why I'm so afraid of marriage, bro. Marriage is such a crazy thing because it's like 8 years you with somebody, dog. 8 years. And all it takes is an opportunity that they deem is bigger than your relationship.
Matters worse, Drake had worked out with her.
Yo, working out with your mans and then sleeping with his girl is crazy work. Crazy work.
Then boyfriend
And look, my dog was happy to be there. He got the Instagram out. He doing we vibing, chilling with Drake. In his mind, he thinking like, yo, I'm about to get on. Drake about to put me on. Yo, Drake is my dude. I'ma support him 100%. He did everything for me. This is the pattern, dog. The power that he uses is the power that he knows that people are willing to do things for him, with him, whatever, because they want to be put on. This is why you can't walk around with this put on attitude where you want willing to do any and everything just to be put on, dog. That shit is wild.
Just days before, only to later post an IG picture after the story broke captioned, without remorse.
And then this nigga don't give a shit. He's without remorse. This is the type of shit I be talking about, man. And for everybody out here, y'all just defending this, man. Y'all defend this type of behavior. Listen, dog, I go by a different set of rules, dog. And one thing I don't do shit in my life, dog. And I don't condone fuck shit neither. So why the fuck would I condone that shit on the internet, man? Y'all got me fucked up if y'all think that's the case, dog. Y'all wild, bruh.
Dirty. Imagine having the most beautiful, supportive, and faithful relationship 8 years long with an engagement and wedding planned, her former fiance, Jamie's son, said. Then this major opportunity comes and a world star calls your fiance to sign a record deal. flies you both over, and then, out of nowhere, all the trust has vanished with knives in your back and in your heart. I am no longer with the person people think I am together with. I am no longer with the 8 years I thought I was together with.
I'm gonna tell y'all right now, had this been me, some shit like that happened to me, I ain't writing no fucking long ass letter on no social media, dog. Nah, fuck that. Cause it's a couple things happening here. She was never yours. Whenever she was yours, the shit was temporary as fuck because it shows here. I ain't writing no long ass letter, dog. It's one thing for somebody to fuck with your girl and they don't know you, but to have somebody who basically presented opportunities to you, worked out with you, knows your girl, to do some conniving shit like that, nah, dog, you gotta sock that man in his face. But I get it, man. We talking about regular level of doing shit. This is a different level of doing shit, because we all know Drake walk around with 1 million security guards. I can't expect my man to crash out over that. I know how that ends. But this is what I'm saying. This is why these people walk around sometimes feeling like they don't have to answer to nobody and they don't gotta deal with no consequences for their actions. This is why it happens, bruh. Create monsters out here.
With someone like Jamie participating in the music industry at a lower level, Drake clearly had no concerns when it came to trampling over his life to get what he wanted. But even though he got away with just a bit of reputational damage that time, recently, it's become clear that Drake's promise to French Montana about never getting involved with someone else's girl was just talk. Because when you look back, Drake has a habit of bringing women into almost all of his beefs with other rappers. And in the view of one of his biggest supporters and academics,
Big OVO Ack in the building. Correct yourself, my guy. The biggest. OVO Mile might be in competition for this, but we know OVO Mile, he ain't coming nowhere where they ain't got no bundle packages, bro.
It's like a bundle package.
OVO Mile running a good second place right now. He just get emotional about shit. Act sometimes shows he could, like, you know, have other conversations. You know, he don't gotta glaze all day long, but
this is where Drake has been a habitual line crosser.
I keep asking people and they're like, yo, listen, man, Drake's a little sloppy with it. All these guys, they share the same crop of girls. It's a thin line between like, yo, these are like the community chicks that we all and yo, you're doing certain to kind of like disrespect.
That's one of the things I never really understood though. Why these guys gotta like fuck with each other's women? Like why in Hollywood and entertainment business, why do they all feel like they gotta fuck with each other's like scraps, dog? Well, all the women in the world, dog, like you're literally a superstar and you can have almost any woman you want that's out there looking. Like, why do you feel like y'all gotta like recycle each other's women's, man? Shit is crazy. I don't know. Maybe I don't get it because I'm not in the industry. Maybe that's the case. I mean, whatever. But still, this shit is weird.
In Ack's view, this has always been a key part of how Drake has operated, long before it led Future to call him a fan on We Don't Trust You. Case in point, just look at why his decade-long feud with CB started.
Imagine how bold Drake was when Drake sends a bottle over there with a note that says, I'm the love of your life.
He really sent that in that message to Chris Brown? I ain't gonna lie, that whole Chris Brown thing, if he sent that message to Chris Brown, I don't know how y'all cool nowadays. Unless y'all was on some like, yo, bros over hoes type shit, because y'all both took the L in that situation, as in losing Rihanna, then maybe that's the case, but I don't know.
Supposedly the note, and right then, beef starts. So Drake is in the club, supposedly with Meek and some other people, and Chris Brown is there, and Drake sends a thing over to be like, I'm the love of your life.
Drake is a savage.
So Drake is not a savage. Drake just has security and feels like one. All right. It's like liquid courage. It's like when you drink that liquor, bro, you are angry drunk. You start feeling like you could fuck everybody up in that club. Sometimes you might find out the hard way. I'm just keeping it real.
Yeah, you gotta keep the girl away from Drake.
Back when Drake and Chris had some bad blood over Rihanna, the whole thing likely made things awkward at parties, but didn't really spill out onto record or really even enter the public consciousness at the time. But that hasn't always been the case. And much like his dispute over Princess Diana with Future, it was his decision to mess with other people's girls that led his ghostwriting scandal with Quentin Miller to come to light in the first place, in turn creating a narrative that's haunted him ever since.
That's how the whole thing started with even the reference tracks. DJ Drama says, bro, he didn't write that. The guy in my studio in Atlanta, he recorded it and Drake just sang it over. That's how that starts. So two guys who thought Drake their chicks basically created that moment.
Did they think, or did he? Like, what's the hit? Like, bro, Drake is such a fraudster when it comes to shit like this, man. That's one of the biggest things for me, man. These reference track things just negate most of the hits that he's come out with, man. And I know he tried to come out and say some other shit, but we ain't buying that, dog.
But while all of these incidents could have been damaging to his career, if you need to look at how far Drake will push it when it comes to women, look no further than him betraying his very own mentor when he was at his lowest. A a story that was brought to light in a bar by Kendrick Lamar's Not Like Us, the allegations that Drake on Wayne's girl when he was in jail have actually been around for a while. And to Weezy's credit, he's done his best to shoot Drake some bail.
Oh, I wasn't worried about that. That's just how life go when you locked up. She still be texting me and stuff, you know?
Man, look, I personally don't know how Weezy's still cool with Drake after that shit, bro. But I see it look like Weezy kind of just took it as, you know, charge it to the game. You feel me? I feel like sometimes that's the best mind state to have, but I feel like dudes still be feeling some type of way. But it's the best mindset for you to have for you to get over it, right? So some people, I feel like a lot of people use that charge it to the game, you know, attitude. But I think that's like mental gymnastics you playing with yourself to just try to, you know, find a way to cope with it. And if you say that to yourself enough times, you start to believe it, that's the easiest way for you to cope. Because if you think of it any other way, you got issues and you want to have issues with that person. I think personally, that's some shit that y'all gotta shoot the fair one, because nigga, you knew. And listen, it's just on some fuck shit. Like we gotta stop normalizing this fuck shit, dog. We really gotta stop this. Cause this shit ain't player. Nothing about this should be charged to the game. No, you should get fucked up. You owe me 5 minutes. Get this 5 minutes out the way, and then maybe we could talk. Or maybe we just don't talk at all and we just go our separate ways. Because listen, that's how I operate in life. If you do some shit, I ain't fucking with you. It is what it is. I'm not fucking with you, dog. Like, you know, this is a guy who practically saved your life, or whatever you want to call it. You know, got you in the industry. Without Wayne, we probably don't see Drake at the level he's at. Let's not forget that. Wayne got you here. So the guy who got you here and gave you, and you owe everything you have to him, this is the guy that you fuck over like this? Out of all the women in the world, you want one of the most famous guys in the entertainment industry. You had to have Weezy girl while he was locked up. But y'all sitting there condoning this shit. Y'all think this shit is cool. Like, all the people that come and defend this shit you do, y'all think this is cool. This is why y'all deflect. Y'all try to make shit about race, or y'all try to make shit about music. No, this is the fact that he's a fucking terrible person with terrible morals and terrible values. Sometimes that's just who you are. And you just need a lesson. Period, dog. Come on, man. Y'all stop normalizing this nigga behavior, bro. We ain't doing that, dog. That's some shit, man. Weezy, you better than me, dog. That won't slide for me, and it won't slide for none of my niggas. It won't slide for nobody I know. And that's how I like it. And this is why it's a difference between some of these guys. Some of these guys just act like hoes, dog. It's crazy. I wouldn't let this shit slide in real life, dog. So what the I look like being on the internet acting like I can let this shit slide?
However, this is only one side of the real story that never gets reported, because as Weezy disclosed in his autobiography, this actually took a real toll on him. As a man, he wrote, "I woke up still feeling messed up about the fucked up day that I had. Hell is what it was. I'm used to arguing with my girl on a daily basis, but finding out that she'd messed with Drake was the absolute worst thing I could have found out. Seemingly happy to backstab one of the people who had done the most for his career, this would point to the sheer depths of Drake's issues when it comes to his addiction. But as for how Drake's addiction manifested in the first place, there's a couple of theories, but both boil down to the same thing. It's his way of getting back at the tough times in his youth, or proving everyone wrong who doubted that a suburban Jewish kid from Toronto could make it big in hip-hop."
Let's have a real conversation about how talk about Drake behind the scenes and how people in the industry talk about Drake and how they view him. View Drake like he's a corny who grew up not getting no and now he got money and now he's able to afford that, right?
I can see that. Like I told y'all, man, a lot of it is the fact that Drake has the money now. Drake has the status. I think Drake coming up and having all this is the reason why he acts the way he acts. When you get to a certain area in life, you get to a certain status, like you start feeling like you could do whatever the fuck you want. And I think he knows he's at the top of the game, or know he was at the top of the game, and he feels like he could do whatever the fuck he wants. Even if that means backstabbing people close to you, you know, because you always have this mindset that you could get away with it because you're Drake.
Women, because for him it's personal, and a way to further assert his place at the top.
Bottom line is, most of these in the industry that have grown up a certain way don't like that this moves in the fashion he moved, because they never had a respect for him. You just said that a lot of the industry do that. A lot of in the industry do not try to everybody's. That is not true. You introduce him to your girl, extra friendly, smiling.
And he do that
exchanging numbers
19, 30, 40, 50, 60, and 70 times. And it ain't just rappers. The athletes, the actors, the golfers, the executives, the tech people.
While Joe Budden thinks that this is all about how he's been treated in the game and is now trying to get back, others feel it goes deeper than just rap. According to Nadeska and Ebro, it goes back to how he's been treated by the world as a whole, not just the industry. Because when the world has looked down on him or made him a figure of sad boy memes, being the guy who could steal your girl in a moment's notice is his way of proving himself as the star he always saw him.
That makes a whole lot of sense. I think it is his coping method. It's, you know, for all the people who claim that he's sensitive and this and this and that, it's like, I could take your girl. I could see that.
I think that people have been making fun of him for such a long time that he has really internalized all that. And that dictates the way he probably moves behind the scenes. Your girl, and your girl, and your girl, because you treated me like this. You think I wasn't cool enough. He's been holding a lot close to the chest.
Due to social media and people listing all of the people, it was like a list of 40 people that Drake either has problems or has had problems with. Right. The women, the men, the women have decided to be with. At a certain point, you start going, wait, it can't be everybody else, bro.
But above all, it's not just Drake's obvious over-reliance on sex that's the issue, nor even his ruthless backstabbing of his enemies. The real problem is how his behavior and personal circumstances have shaped a negative attitude towards women that threatens to be his downfall. Because from Pusha T to Kendrick Lamar, every time that he's been forced to take an L in a battle is when he comes at someone's spouse or fiance. Yep. And in Pusha's view, this goes all the way back to the trials and tribulations of his youth.
Now I gotta dig deeper. What is the real issue with you and marriage?
And the reason why Pusha is saying that, because if you remember in the battle, that was one of the angles that he used, is the fact that he was married, which I don't understand. But it further shows you Drake's MO, you know, go after wives, go after spouses, go after families. Like, this is Drake's MO. And you can't sit there and say it's not, because he's literally shown you this multiple times.
Now I gotta dig in and see, what's your family like? Oh, your dad left you at 5. Oh, I get that. And he never walked you to the bus stop. You're mad about this.
Left without a strong role model and instead given a father who's still chasing girls himself to
Yo, even his dad just, listen, man, that's crazy, bro. Like, it just shows you, man, this is wild. Trauma can definitely follow you, like, for such a long time, and various ugly head in so many different ways, man. This is one of the ways. Drake probably battles with shit like this in his head and doesn't even understand it and just distracts himself by chasing women, you know? It's a sad thing to realize, because it's like you got everything else in the world, but there's always that void, dog. You feel me? Crazy.
To this day, in a slightly creepy way, it explains why Drake thinks nothing of getting involved with someone else's girl, nor discrediting someone else's wife. While for someone like Pusha, Kendrick, or even A$AP Rocky, who adopted the Drizzy beef after lines about his wife from For All the Dogs, this wouldn't be an option. In turn, creating the sense that Drake may have plenty of relationships with women, but doesn't ultimately respect them. Left embarrassed by his own actions and with his peers now calling him out, Drake's gotten a serious wake-up call to change his ways. Because if he doesn't, this addiction might destroy his career, his legacy, and maybe even his life.
That was a great breakdown, man. Shout out to Hip Hop Madness. Definitely shed a light on a couple things. Definitely just went down a couple reasons why Drake is the way he is. What I want to leave y'all with on this is, I know a lot of people look at this whole, you know, having women thing, having multiple women, having, you know, going after people's women. There's nothing player about that shit to me, dog. You feel me? I just feel like a lot of what he doing is a coping method to cope with other issues in his life. But when you got the money and the power, the money and the power could drown that out, you know? But it's only to a certain time where you actually, you know, want to figure out what that void is. And to me, I just think Drake right now, he's just a terrible person. He's a terrible person with terrible values, and he has the money and the power. And I really hope that this addiction can, you know, be turned around in a sense to where he can fix this. And there's still hope for him to do better and be better, because we all make mistakes, man. We all do some dumb shit in our lives when we're younger. But the fact of the matter is, he's getting older and he's increasing these mistakes. So he's going completely the opposite way. And it's not just the fact that he's doing this shit, it's the fact that he's doing this shit to people close to him or people he knows, or whatever the case may be. It's like, grow up. That's it. And it's, you know, and this beef with Kendrick Lamar opened up a lot of different angles and issues of what's wrong with Drake. I mean, we could talk about it all. We could talk about the minor stuff. We could talk about messing with other people's women. We could talk about doing artists dirty. We could talk about reference tracks. But all this stuff is stuff that he's battling with. And I feel like people who defend this like to drown it with conversations about music. The music, let's talk about the person. He needs to fix that. And I don't want to get on here and talk about it like he can't. He can. Like I said, we all make mistakes and we're not perfect. We all have things that we can fix about ourselves, right? But Drake, I hope he fixes it, and I hope people can see this for what it is and really assess what's going on, man. That's just my opinion, man. I think right now he's just a terrible person, and I think he needs to fix things. Especially in this industry. We all know how this industry can change you, and it can change you in the blink of an eye, and you probably probably won't even see it come. So if that's what he's going through, I hope he finds ways to fix that. And I hope he just does better, man. But look, let me know how you feel about Drake. Let me know. And shout out again to Hip Hop Madness. That was a great breakdown. If you want to check out the entire video, you can check it out on their channel. I'll have it in the description, man. Let me know what y'all think, man. It's your boy Goods, BigZoeTV. Let's go.